to join the African food chain makers community, because that's where you also get all of the other things that you need apart from the training you are getting from Brace. So we give visibility and recognition, and of course we give learning and trainings. That is why we are African food chain makers. So quickly, I want us to quickly go to the speakers presentation so that we don't keep our speakers waiting for today, or we already have our speakers on the call and we not want to keep them waiting. So we would give room for speakers presentation, and then if you have any question to ask the speakers, they would give answers, after which you can go into the other agenda for today. So quickly, like you have always known, or you already know, our topic for this week is adaptation and mitigation strategies in logistics and distribution. So our first speaker for today is Dr. Debisi Araba. I'm sure those of you that have gone through the portal and we have done module 1 must have seen this face, Dr. Debisi Araba. He was one of the
Hi, Patience, we cannot hear you again.
Research Fellow at the Center for Environmental Policy, Imperial College, London. He also serves on the Malabo Montpellier panel of experts, an eminent group of global experts working together to enhance African and European governments' support of national and regional agricultural development and food security priorities in Africa. Previously, he led the African Green Revolution Forum, AGRF, as the managing director, and was also the African Region Director at the International Center for Tropical Agriculture, CIAT, a member of the CGIAR, the Consortium on International Agricultural Research. He has also served as the Senior Technical Advisor on Environmental Policy to the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development in Nigeria. Debisi has a doctorate degree from the Center for Environmental Policy, Imperial College London, a master's in public administration from the Harvard University Kennedy School of Government, a master's in clean technology from the University of Newcastle upon time, and bachelor's degree in physical geography from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. So if you're on the call, I want us to give a virtual round of applause and welcome our first speaker for today, Dr. Debisi Araba. So good afternoon, Doctor. Hi, Doctor. I'm not sure.
Hi, Patience, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Can they unmute him?
Oh, all right. I cannot see him. Please, doctor, if you are there. Okay, I've seen you. Yeah. Okay, I'm asking you to unmute, sir. So sorry about that. Just
wonderful. Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks, Patience. I couldn't unmute. I was trying to do that, but also I would like to be able to share my screen. So if you could please
yes, I have made
that
you a co-host, so you could do that. So I'm
okay.
I'll stop sharing now. Okay. All right.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. It still says the screen sharing is disabled. Okay. All right, got it now. Got it. All right. I am going to do my best to figure out how we do this sharing thing while I think it's advanced sharing options.
So I've stopped sharing, so you can go ahead.
Oh, I'm sharing. Oh, I'm sharing. I just want to make sure it's the active screen is what you're seeing versus just the whole thing. Okay. I think there. Yourselves as well, the dialogue. I can take that down.
Okay, so I'm seeing the screen. I'm seeing myself as well. I'm seeing the screen but it's not in a presentation form.
It's not?
Yeah, so it's still showing all of the other slides.
Oh, it is. Okay. Let me figure out what's going on then. Stop share. Let's do it again. Okay, so first I have to do this in presentation mode. Play. Now, click that and share.
Oh, great, yes. So we can
Okay.
search it.
So I'm actually not sure what you can see.
So what I'm seeing is temperature and precipitation.
Good.
That's the heading there.
Right, now I need to figure out how okay. So you can see it from the start now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wonderful. So I know I have just 10 minutes for this. So good. Well, hello everyone. I'm assuming people are joining from multiple countries. It's a pleasure to share a few thoughts with you today. Of course, I know we cannot be exhaustive in the discussions, but it's hopefully your learning, has been building up from the foundation of, climate change, the basic concepts, to various aspects of the value chain, production, processing. Now we're into logistics and distribution, and how we can think about adaptation and mitigation strategies. So what I hope to do today is cover some things that we had discussed in the sort of foundational lecture on climate mitigation and adaptation. We'll talk about temperature and precipitation, look a little bit into climate shocks and stresses and how this impacts your businesses. We then look at mitigation and adaptation broadly and how that relates to climate smart agriculture or agri-food sector. Then the profiling of climate risks and then potential actions that can be taken. Hopefully we have enough time for this. And then of course, happy to discuss with you in the Q&A. So beginning with temperature and precipitation, I mean, these are the sort of twin risks when you think about climate change. This is how I want you to think about it, Think about it in terms of temperature, either getting warmer or cooler in parts of the world, and precipitation, places getting wetter or drier, and then a combination of that, right? So you can get cooler, drier temperature, or cooler, wetter temperature, warmer, wetter, warmer, drier. Now, because of these changes that are insidious in some cases, and then you of course get the shocks. So shocks are, you've got your droughts, you've got floods, you've got sometimes, unusual temperature drops out of season for crop farmers out there who understand the implication of temperature change at the wrong time and its implication on production, at least the production side of the value chain. So what does this mean? It's got the potential to disrupt logistics and supply chains. We think about just thinking about basic equipment, the damage to equipment because now they're operating in conditions outside of their operational thresholds, leading to increased maintenance costs. So you might find yourself spending more replacing parts or buying entirely new equipment. Insurance premiums will likely go higher as we've started to see around the world. And, the climate models had predicted that the frequency of climate shocks had started to increase. And not only are they increasing in frequency, but the duration between these 1 in 100-year events are starting to happen more often. And the United States is in its hurricane season now, but even models at Imperial College have predicted that the loss, the damage to property was exacerbated by about 11% due to climate change. So outside of the regular phenomena that we have with the hurricane season, now it's being accelerated and exacerbated. And we're also seeing that in Southern Africa with the cyclones. In parts of tropical Africa, we're seeing unusual rainfall patterns, high rainfall patterns outside of the predicted rainfall seasons. So the economic costs are huge. You might even lose entire assets, whether it's entire farmlands or agribusiness processing centers, or livestock pasture land completely lost, or even livestock lost due to temperature shocks, weather shocks, other precipitation shocks. It could also potentially lead to lower productivity. I put the etc. there because for most of you that I believe are entrepreneurs in agribusiness, the list goes on and on. If you just close your eyes and think, what could extreme temperature on either side, either cold or hot, or extreme precipitation, wet or dry, what could it do to my business? You begin to see the dimensions and the risks they pose. Now, this you should be familiar with. This was in the foundational course, but I want to bring it back because let's remind you that transportation, if you're looking at the figure on the right, I believe it's also on the left in your screen, that shows the breakdown of greenhouse gas emissions by sector. Now, this was as of 2020. Now you look at transportation, logistics and transportation accounted for 16% of greenhouse gas emissions. So even in this discussion, as we look at the impact of climate change on logistics, we're also seeing that logistics and transportation is contributing to climate change through greenhouse gas emissions. That is important because no one, the way I talk about climate change is action is going to be borne by everybody. No one is going to come into this discussion as a no-fault victim. Everybody, in one way or the other, our very human existence. That's why we call it anthropogenic sources. It's human-induced climate change. A lot of things that we do is contributing to climate change. So what can we do? Again, this is something that you should be familiar with from the foundational course. The first thing is having, as a business, as an entrepreneur, we say we're taking agriculture or agribusiness, your agriculture as a business, for example, taking the agriculture subsector, agriculture as a business, regardless of what sector of entrepreneurship you are participating in, it is important that you have a full profile of where your climate risks are. And I think this is a one-way street. This climate risk profile looks at the impact of potential climate shocks and stresses on value chains. But you could also, transpose that and look at the contributions of these agriculture value chains to the production of greenhouse gas emissions. I think if you're a business and you want to start looking at how you potentially mitigate, that means reducing your contribution to climate change. And by extension, we mean your contribution to the production of greenhouse gases. That's one way of doing it. But of course, the figure here specifically looks at adaptation options, looks at how you can invest along the value chain. So it looks at the vulnerabilities first, and then options that are currently available, and then options that might be available in the near future. This is important. So when we come into the actions, so you have this little quote. I'm a fan of the rap group Outkast. I don't know if some of you, many of you, any of you are familiar with them, but there's a song they have about called Miss Jackson. And there's a line that says, you know, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. I leave that to you, colleagues. Can we or can we not predict the weather? We can have that discussion in the chat. But it's quite interesting. I as a climate scientist, I find it funny that they would say that, but they would say that back then. I suppose it's a colloquial term. You can't predict the weather, meaning, you know, these things aren't predictable, these things happen to us. So what actions can we take? Because from this quote, what I'm trying to emphasize is climate is here. You're not going to stop climate change. You're not going to stop the variability in precipitation or temperature. So what can you do? I've listed a few things here, and I'm pretty sure I would like to encourage you and invite you to, you know, share some of your thoughts during the Q&A and in the chat. What else you think we could do here? The first thing I would suggest is, as a business, you need to map out your climate vulnerabilities. Know where you're vulnerable. Know where the risks are. If the temperature goes higher, what's the impact on logistics, on, you know, moving my produce from farm to either to the processing center, or from the processing center to the retailer, to the shops, or even when it's on the shelves, can they last? What's their shelf life now? If the temperature is warmer or cooler, does that impact my business? And you need to update this regularly. Why do you need to update it regularly? Because the science is improving. Our knowledge continues to improve on not just the predictive models for climate change, but also the impact and the forecasting. Now, speaking of forecasting, the second thing you would need to do, depending on, I would say, you know, there is no harm, regardless of the scale of your business, there's no harm in going through this exercise, aligning your investment horizon with climate change. Now, if you know that an area is going to increasingly become more flood prone due to climate change, you know, that's not the time to build a shop there, or that's not the time to invest in physical hard assets that cannot be insured against that risk. It is it's a time to move further inland. You know, if you're aware of where the risks are, if you know what the vulnerabilities are, then plan accordingly. So if you as a business, if you're taking, I don't know, 2 to 5 year planning horizon or 5 to 10 year planning horizon, start to plan with the predictions of climate models. Input that. A lot of the output of these climate models are publicly available. So it's important that you understand what you're reading, understand the implication, and calculate that into your business. You also need to invest in viable mitigating technologies and systems. Now, I said viable, doesn't say just invest in mitigating technologies and systems, because there are certain technologies, of course, will reduce your carbon footprint, reduce how much carbon emissions you're generating, but by and large, it might render your business non-viable and non-economically competitive. So take, for example, you're a retailer and you want to extend your operating hours into the evening. Maybe you're in an off-grid remote area. What are your options to get power? It's either a generator, solar power. Now, there are ways of looking at the cost-benefit analysis of, should I invest upfront costs? Look at the upfront costs of moving to renewable energy sources, and will that pay off over the long term? This is you know, the business quotient that you need to acquire, because it's going to determine whether you remain competitive in this changing environment. You also need to map out. So for example, if you are directly in the logistics and transportation sector, you need to map out alternative route plans and contingencies in the event of shocks. So for example, if one road is completely submerged or a river washes a bridge away, are there alternative routes? How do you plan for these? How do you make a contingency plan for these scenarios? It's important to have them if it is core to your business. Why? Because when the shock hits, you are not going to be frozen, rooted to one spot. You're ready to move to your plan B, your plan C, your plan D. The next suggestion I have is to price in climate risk and transfer some of that risk to markets. So first, pricing in climate risk. If you, for example, we've talked about investing in mitigating technologies, well, that's your business, right? If your business is to stay viable and stay competitive, then of course it's your responsibility to ensure that you're not bankrupting yourself just because you want to transition to renewable energy sources or low carbon energy sources. That needs to be priced into your output, whatever it's the commodity, the goods, the services that you produce. Put that price in there. In fact, globally, there is even though there's a global carbon pricing movement, there's also a movement to price in the risk into, or carbon pricing and climate risk into our lifestyles to ensure that we're able to go through this transition. It's going to be painful for humanity. I don't think people have fully, reckoned with the changes that we need to make, the sacrifices that we will need to make to reduce large-scale greenhouse gas emissions. But one way of looking at this is internalizing the cost. So pricing that risk into your goods, your services, your commodities. And then the second part is transferring some of that risk to the market. So insurance is one of those viable tools. Maybe in the Q&A, we can come into the pros and cons of insurance. Insurance has its limits, but the good thing is there are markets out there willing to take on some of those risks, and in the event of a shock, provide you with a cushion to navigate the recovery from this shock. And the final thing is diversify when you can. Of course, not everyone is able to diversify. However, if you can, diversify your business interests. Colloquially, we say, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's important as a business. Your number one priority is to be profitable. You want to generate a profit. You want to stay competitive. It's not necessarily about any particular value chain. It's not necessarily about any region you're operating. It's not necessarily about any customer you're serving. Not necessarily. It could be with context. However, when faced with climate change as a business, there's strength in numbers, and it's also important to diversify when the opportunities present themselves. So moving some of your investments or your business activities out of the more vulnerable areas to less vulnerable areas, for example, or operating in multiple parts of the value chain where you can, to ensure that in any season, if, for example, the harvest is poor, but you've invested in a retail, as part of a retail cooperative, maybe you generate some income from there as a personal means of diversifying your income streams. So that's pretty much it on the core of this lecture, if you would call it that. I'd rather call it a discussion. So the summary is, look, temperature and precipitation are the first order triggers of climate change. Those are the first two things you think about when you think climate change. But then also be aware of the second order impacts, because with increased or reduced temperature, increased or reduced precipitation, whether it's wetter or drier, comes these second order impacts. Depending on what your business is, the impacts will vary, but understand them. Insurance is a useful tool to transfer climate change risk to markets, but it has its limits. Always understand that. Insurance is not a silver bullet. Just because you have the insurance policy doesn't then mean you go gung-ho without thinking through what could happen in the event of a shock. Adaptation technologies exist with multiple ones coming on the horizon. If anything, I talked about solar photovoltaics. The prices of these things just keep falling by the day because our ability to, the technologies to produce them at scale continue to increase. The policies globally to enable markets to transition to renewables exists, so prices continue to come down. Now, it's up to entrepreneurs, it's up to you, really, to balance risks against investments, both for the short, medium, and long term. There is no single way to say, or single advice to say, oh, I'm in poultry farming, I move, you know, whether it's eggs to markets, or chickens, or broilers, layers, or I'm in livestock, or I'm in fisheries. Wherever you are, there is no single piece of advice. And I think if you ever approach anyone who, you know, claims to be a consultant or expert in the field and tells you, oh, this is the thing you should do, run away from them. Why? Because there is no single sure way of addressing an entrepreneur's response to climate change shocks and stresses. You have multiple options. You're going to have to experiment with what works best for you, given your specific context. And that leads me to the final point. Ingenuity will determine the businesses that thrive. This is pressure. Now, different, you know, everyone, shall I say, information is democratized now. You've got the internet, you've got access to information, but how people use that information will vary. And what people will do will vary. The level of risk will vary. You can put two businesses in the same sector side by side, and they will choose different options. And there is nothing to say, you know, two different options doesn't lead to the same outcome, or two different options leads to different outcomes. Ultimately, it's going to be about how much information you digest and how you take calculated risks as entrepreneurs. And with that, I come to the end of I really don't want to call it a lecture, but this is the precursor to the discussion. So I'm looking forward to the discussion. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so very much. So quickly, we'll just dive into the Q&A session so that there will be clarity for those that have questions or for those that have contributions and all of that. So it's really open now. I can see one hand already raised. So Musa Shehu Daja, if you have a question for Doctor or a contribution, I'm asking you to unmute now so that you can quickly let us know. Are you there? So kindly unmute and okay. All right, then Ambassador G.I. Madotoye, please unmute and let us know. I'm asking you to unmute. I hope.
Good afternoon from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. I don't know if I'm heard.
Yes,
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Araba. That was quite exciting. We continue to learn every week as we come on the live section. Thank you very much. Okay, so this question, I asked this question in week 1, but I didn't really get solution. What I need is solution. It might not directly be to this, but please, it's something that is seriously biting in our farm that we started, that we're struggling to scale. So there's this challenge that we have, and that is, I don't know what it's called, but in the local parlance, it's called the elephant grass. You know, it's taking over the entire farm, almost square. We've tried, you know, I just startup, so we've tried, you know, it's every day you get workers to to clear since we are doing organic and we want to be eco-friendly. But right now, it's taking over the entire farm. We keep digging, we keep cutting, and the resources is scarce. So please, what can we do without applying chemicals? Even if you try to apply chemicals right now, because of the heavy down rainfall, you know, it's not effective. And we don't want to go that way because we want to be eco-friendly, we want to do purely organic. So please, how can you help? It's a serious problem. It's as though we are running away from that place. The passion is there, but truly speaking, it's so difficult for us because we don't even know what to do anymore. Please, if there's a solution, we'll be very grateful. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll do this. I think in terms of resources, let me share resources, and then if you reach out to the conveners, they can connect you with me via email. I would suggest that you reach out to IITA, the International Institute for Tropical Agriculture. So IITA have the the scientists who are working on this. Between them and the International Center for Tropical Agriculture can help you with bioremediation of this invasive weed. So please let's go ahead and get you the help that you need.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Doctor. So we're going to ensure to connect him with you via email so that this solution can come. So Ambassador G.I. Madodo, please reach out to us and we'll do the connection, necessary connections, please. Thank you so much, Doctor. And we have another hand raised, Ubong Akpan. Please, I'm asking you to unmute and continue.
Hello.
Yes, please. We can hear you.
Yeah, my question goes this way, please. What is precipitation?
Just rainfall. Think about it as rainfall. So rainfall in all its forms, all the way from snow to hail to rain and sleet.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So are there any other questions or clarification now that we have Dr. Oniko, even if it is week one that you have a question on, but Doctor talked about so many things for week one. Now that we have the opportunity and we're seeing him, go ahead and ask your question. And all right, so let me check the comment section to see if there are questions there. Okay. I am thinking since climate change has come, students and teachers of agriculture in high school should be exposed to the climate smart agriculture. Yes, great. I think this is a suggestion and it's a cool suggestion that we should expose everyone, both students and teachers of high school. And I think that's great. Is there any other question? Okay, there's no question here. Okay, another hand is raised. Munirudin Yunusa. Please, I'm asking you to unmute and go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. We can hear you.
Doctor, thank you so much for this class. It has been so useful, like together with the work as we have been in the model. So the past 5 years, is this backyard farming that we have been doing. We majorly use it to cultivate vegetables and pepper. But recently this year, like ever since we have been managing the small portion of the backyard, like the crops have been booming so well, they have been performing so well. But just this year, we noticed that the vegetables, the pepper, the tomato that we have planted, they are not doing well. Like most of them died, while the little that actually like survived, they are not really going. They are just striving to survive. They are just so small, like, and they are not even footing. Please, what could be the major reason for this sudden change in the yield, and like the reason why it is not germinating, and what could be the possible solution to it? Thank you.
Yeah, Munira, it's a complicated one if I haven't seen the farm before. But there are a few things to check. do you use any form of fertilizer? Are you planting in the soil? Is it a hydroponic farm? If it's soil, have you been using fertilizer? Has anything been introduced to the water source recently? It could be contamination from the water source. It could be multiple things. Also, the time you planted. Yeah, there are a few things to think about, but I think start with the soil and then the water source. Has the water source been contaminated? If everything is still the same, check the soil. If you have been using fertilizer, then have you been using new seeds, or have you just been replanting with the same seeds? The other thing I mean, we don't have the time, but if you had taken photos and you shared photos, perhaps one could say, okay, it's a disease or a pest or something. But other than that, it's about troubleshooting. As a horticulturist, you've been doing this for a few years. Something suddenly changes. Check the water source, check the soil, check fertilizer, and then move from there.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. There's Anita and Joshua Ishola. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Doctor. That was a very insightful presentation. So my question is that, with respect to climate change, talk about the disruptions to logistics and supply chain. So my question is that how can a company, like a food company, stay informed, on climate change developments? How can a company stay informed? So how can they really know, how climate change can actually affect their logistics and distribution supply chain? Because they need to stay informed to know, so that they can,
that's right,
they can continue to mitigate the effects.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Joshua. That's a very good question. I think there are quite a few resources across the continent on this. So the first place to check would be your respective ministries of agriculture. It's rare. I would be shocked if any country didn't have this, but there are platforms where this information is shared. The challenge is the knowledge of the information isn't known, right? People just don't know. So start with your respective ministries of agriculture. But also, if you go online, there are a few organizations that work across the continent. One that I'm most familiar with is the CGIR, the Consultative Group, well, formerly known as the Consultative Group on International Agriculture Research, now known as the Consortium on International Agriculture Research. If you do a Google search, climate forecast, and you put your country, your city, or even the value chain that you're in, chances are you will find these predictive models out there. And then you will also see institutions working on refining these models. You can reach out to them directly to share any latest updates and information they have. I think it's important that entrepreneurs keep themselves abreast of what's going on, where the models are pointing to, what the scenarios look like, and what the implication is on not just your investments, but on your future businesses. We still have clients in the area. Do you need to move out of one area into another? And I don't mean a location, but I mean a part of the value chain. Do you need to move out of logistics into retail, or do you need to move out of retail into production, et cetera, or into processing? And if it's processing, do you need to move from one particular crop to the other? These models should intuitively show you what the future could look like, and then you make a calculated decision as an entrepreneur.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. I have one hand still raised, Moju Lamin Denba. Please kindly unmute and go ahead with your question.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Afternoon, we have
from the Gambia. Thank you so much, Doctor. That was so insightful. I mean, I I'm an extension worker in the Gambia, empowering youth and women into the agricultural sector. In these past years, we are experiencing this challenge of okra problem. That is, you will see the okra spots on the okra's leaf, and then furthermore, nothing yield will come out from the okra. So what do you think will be the problem is? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Madhu. So that's way out of my core area of expertise, but I would say that's leading me to suspect the disease that is insidious. Now, in Gambia, I'm sure you have national agriculture research systems. Do you have any expertise on okra? If not, again, there's a wealth of information on the internet. You know, if you as much as take a photo of the spots on those leaves and you upload it to the internet, you know, chances are, again, you know, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, right? Experience and a similar image. And what Google Lens does is then synthesize, not only tells you what the problem is, but then shows you the people who are working on this, whether in the Gambia and or around the world as well. So I think we need to utilize more information technology, get online, take a photo, get online and share. And if that fails, please approach your Ministry of Agriculture. They will have access to other resources that you can then use.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. So we have another hand. Please let's have this as the last hand that will be raised so that we can allow Doctor. So thank you, Kabiru Mohammed. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just want to add to what the last speaker was just asked. There is technology called Plantis that will help you ascertain the disease that's affecting your okra. I don't know if you have it in Gambia. You can go to the Play Store and download Plantis. Once you have that Plantis, you just take the picture of the okra. It will show you the result of the disease that's affecting your crop and the possible solution. I think it will go a long way. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Thanks for your contribution, Kabir. Thank you. That's really appreciated. Thank you so much. So not sure we have other questions. All right. Thank you. And thank you so much, Doctor. I can see that you're answering some of the questions in the comment section. Thank you so much, sir. So before we let Doctor go, maybe we should just quickly take a photo with him. And so that in case you go to the US next week and you see Doctor, you just quickly let him know that you were part of the session where he spoke. All right, thank you, everyone. Please let's on our videos and be in this photo with Dr. Debisi. All right, thank you, everyone. I can see some of us putting on our videos already. Oh, great, thank you. Thank you for everyone that's on their videos, and thank you so much. So team members, please help us and take this picture. Thank you so much. So Doctor, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for all of the insights that you've given this afternoon. Thank you for even the videos in the portal. We are really, really grateful for it. And I'm sure most of us on this call are really happy to have you here. And please, let's say some beautiful words to Doctor in the comment section. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure engaging with you all today. Yes. Please don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. You know, learning is a lifelong journey. Please, you know, it doesn't stop with a degree or a certificate. Information is out there. It's democratized now thanks to the internet. So, seek out whatever you need and seek out the people who you think have the information that you require. Reach out to them as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This is well appreciated.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. All right, everyone. Let's quickly do our membership drive, and then we'll come back to the next speaker. So quickly, I want to share my screen again, and we go ahead to do our membership drive, after which I want to be sure everyone can see my screen. Okay, so to take the membership drive, we'll have Rose Ekong, the membership person, to quickly take us on the membership drive. Remember that BRACE program does not stop at the BRACE learning alone. You have to be part of the AFC membership platform to be able to gain other information that is needed for you to thrive in your respective businesses. So quickly, I would want to hand over to Rose. Rose, are you on the call? Hello, Rose, are you here?
All right, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Rose. Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Patience. Just like Patience that said that there's a need for us to join our membership community. Good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon to the members and the non-members. Thank you, Doc, for that insightful presentation. And I hope we are bracing up everybody. So if you are a change maker in the house, if you are part of our membership community, you can type in the comment section, you can type in, I am a change maker. Hello, do we have change makers in the house? Can we all hear me?
Yes, Rose, please go ahead.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Imabong said, I am a change maker. Thank you, Imabong. Thank you, Moses. Thank you. And as for those that have not joined the membership community, I don't know why we haven't joined. Please, there is a need for you to join our membership community. So what we do in our community is that we help scale up agribusinesses, and so we create funding opportunities. We share funding opportunities for our members. Like Patient rightly said, that there are other programs that we have in the AFC. It is only when you become a member, that's when you get to benefit from this program. Please, there's a need for us to sign up. So Patient, please, next slide, please. Okay, so for those that haven't joined the membership community, so you can go to you can log into our hub, and then with www.afchub.org, and then you get to the landing space where you navigate to see the joint community. And so you click on the joint community, and so there are so many questions. There are just a few questions. Let me not bore you with. They are not, those questions are relevant. It is just for us to be able to know your kind of business and to know how legit the business is. And so there are some criteria that you'll be providing that guarantee you to join our membership community. Your business should be in existence for like 6 months, and then you should have a social media presence. So, and then after providing us with all these criteria, it will take like 24 to 48 hours, and then you'll be verified to join our membership community. And so, like I would really emphasize, you cannot be an agri-entrepreneur without joining our membership community. It's very, very important. It creates visibility, it creates networking, and it also, we have members across 43 African countries. So through this joining our membership community, that's when you get to network with those people and to scale up your business. So Patient, please, the next slide. So we have a marketplace, and it's a very important place in our home where our members' products are being advertised. So when you log in and then you become a member, there's a dashboard. And from that dashboard, that's where you will be able to upload your products. And then the prices, and like you can see in the picture by my left-hand side, you can see these are our members' products, then the link and everything. That's so you'll be able to, someone will be able to contact you and you can sell your business across Africa. Please, it is important. And so if you have any question while trying to sign up, if you have any concern, and please, you can always reach back to us. And my colleague will be dropping the link on the chat box. Please click on it and join our membership community, and you'll be glad you did. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Patience.
All right, thank you so much, Rose. Thank you so much for helping us understand again what the importance of joining the membership community is. So I just want to give this opportunity. Please, if you have a question about joining the community, I see some brave participants need to reach out to me about and the community and all that. Do you have any question? Now that we can see the membership people, let's ask them the questions that we have. So if you have a question, please raise your hand and I will let you ask your question before we go ahead. Let me not do going and gone. I don't want to do gone yet, but if you have your question, please let us know, raise your hand about the membership community. Like Rosa said, you need to be a part of the membership community to enjoy every other thing that we provide at African Food Chain Makers. It does not end at Brace program alone. There are even other programs that you can enjoy, but you may not even know about them if you're not a member of the African Food Chain Makers. So you need to be a member of the community to access most of our information, even our networking opportunities, our data opportunities, and then even some of this information. I think Joshua was talking about where you can access some of this information on climate change and all of that. If you're a member of the African Food Chain Makers, trust us, you will get some of this information. And then we can also link you to organizational association where you can also get some of the information, and also we can recommend you if need be or when the need arises. So there are so many things you can enjoy as a member. Oh, Rebecca, sorry. Please go ahead and ask your question. I'm seeing Rebecca's hand raised. I'm asking you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Rebecca. I have not been able to log into the learning portal. When I logged into the learning portal, it takes me to the membership portal. I'm already a member. I've been able to see all the other, change makers. However, I'm not able to see the e-learning portal. I tried to chat someone and they sent me the link to the e-learning portal, but it keeps on taking me to the change makers, to the change makers portal.
Oh, okay. So maybe we can do this together quickly. Let's quickly do a portal walkthrough again so that everybody can see. Maybe there's something you're doing wrong. That's why it's taking you to the membership portal. So if you would, please, maybe you can just go ahead and drop your email address in the comment section. Let us use your dashboard, or I can use mine. Maybe I should use mine so that you just see it. Let me use mine as please a second to share my screen so that we can get this done, because I'm sure there might be other people that will be having this issue as well. Let's just set it now on this call. So I want to share my screen quickly. Okay, so can you see my screen? Okay, Rebecca, since you're not muted yet, please unmute and answer. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so I'm going to, this is the learning portal. This is what it looks like when you clicked on the link we sent to you, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so just the way it is now, I'm just going to enter my email address and then the password. And click login. So
I'm not able to
click login.
get to this. Yes, when I click login, there's login and there's become member to join.
No, you don't click on become member. You see this screen I showed. Let me go back again.
Yes.
So this screen, this interface, let it load back.
So which
to where
password
it
will I
was.
use?
It's the same password we sent to, the default password we sent to your email and even on the WhatsApp group, raise24_23. That's what you use there. And we have sent this password several times. Yeah, you've been using a wrong password, right? So sorry.
I logged in and became a member, so it's always been taking me to the change maker platform.
No. So
okay.
if you on this screen that you're seeing, the learning portal, and I'm trying to go back and my network is sleeping. So what you just do basically is to input your data there, your email address, and then where the password is, put in the default password, which is raise24_23, and then click on the login. You don't need to click on become membership. You don't need to click on any other thing. This learning portal is where you go to the learning itself. Do you understand?
Thank you so much. That's the step I missed. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Oh, Rose, please go ahead. I see that your answer is.
All right, thank you, Patience. So a quick one, someone said something, he said suggestion about being a member of the community. Why don't we share the link of the WhatsApp group? We don't share the link of our WhatsApp group. It's only when you become a member, that's when you can join WhatsApp group. Our WhatsApp group is strictly for members. We don't want other people to just come in and then maybe something, how people react in the WhatsApp group. So it's strictly for serious-minded members. And then also our membership is totally free. So I don't, maybe people might be thinking it's because we are talking about marketplace, it might attract some token or so. No, our membership is totally free. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Rose, for that contribution. Really, you don't have to pay anything, just like you're not paying anything to become a race participant. That's how you're not paying anything to become a member of AFC, please. And then, like she said, the WhatsApp group is strictly for members. If you're not a member yet, you cannot access the WhatsApp. That's why you click on the link and become a member, after which you would be giving the link to the WhatsApp group to join as a member. Is there, I'm seeing a question and okay. Please, I don't know if I'm in the membership forum. If you have click on the link to become a member and then you have filled the form and all that, you definitely get an email that helps you understand whether you are a member or not. Please, we share the learning portal password. Oh, yes. Yes, I will just go ahead and share it on this call again so that everybody gets to see the link to the Brace portal. So I just shared the link to the Brace portal for everyone to see. Not the link, the password, yeah. So it's Brace24. Oh, not ads, I'm sorry. I think I should edit that. That's a mistake. It's Brace24_23. All right, thank you so much, everyone. If there is no other question, or does anybody have any other question? Okay, so if there is no other question, I'll quickly go. I told you we would like to do our membership drive before our next speaker comes in. So I'll quickly share my screen again for our next speaker. So that we can forge ahead. Okay. Okay, so our next speaker for today is Adeyemi Adetola. It's actually a lead business development and partnership at SMEs Integrated. So he's a certified supply chain international trade professional in supply chain and logistics management, and also an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Nigeria. He's a computer science graduate of Babcock University and started his career in transport logistics with Transport Services Limited, Nigeria, as a logistics coordinator at the Oil and Gas Aviation Fuels Division under the Oando TSL JV operations, managing the fleet's distribution and planning of aviation fuel to and across major airport terminals in Nigeria. With supply chain business operations experience spanning over 10 years, Adetola is a solutions provider with areas of interest and specialty in supply chain operations, logistics management, strategic partnership development, business development, sales operation and planning, distribution and planning, technology adoption, process development, integration, leadership and coaching development. Adetola possesses strong business strategy and operations execution skills with high proficiency in solving complex business challenges through process realignment and technology adoption. Before now, Adetola worked with Jetstream Africa as manager, enterprise sales and account management for the Nigerian market, where he was saddled with end-to-end supply chain customer-facing responsibilities, including strategic stakeholder management and business development. Adetola currently leads business development and partnership as SMEs Integrated Trades Logistics Limited, an organization with expertise focused on international supply chain and logistics and fleet maintenance management as technology-driven supply chain support services. So if you are on this call and you're excited to have our second speaker for today, please let's give a virtual and a round of applause for Adeyemi Adetola. So please, Adeyemi, if you're on this call, I'll just want to hand over to you. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miriam. Good afternoon, everyone. And to be honest, sometimes when I hear all of those things, I don't believe it's me that we're talking about. But thank you for that, and it's great to be back on the session once again. And I hope you all are doing great. Participants on the call, just let me know if you can hear me wherever you are, and let's make it interactive. You can just drop on the chat where you're joining the call from and what you do, your name, where you're joining from, and what you currently do. Nice to meet you all. And I think I would like to, where's my presentation? I just have some few slides to share with you all. And I think after the session, I might just send it to you, Miriam and Amaka, if you can, probably work on it and upload it on the platform for the participants' usage. I hope that's fine.
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much. So I've made you a co-host, so you can go ahead and share your screen.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So just confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. I'm Adetola Adeyemi, as you've heard from the introductory message that was read by Miriam right now. I currently lead business development. I co-founded Zenas Integrated Trade Logistics, and I currently lead business development and partnerships at this organization. And to start with, we're a supply chain focused organization where we help corporate organizations with their international logistics, freight forwarding and clearing, local distribution and haulage. And we also have services that cater for technology-driven fleet management, fleet maintenance management service, as well as drivers recruitment and outsourcing. Well, however, today, I would just like to go straight to the topic of today, where facilitating this session under the grace of Miriam and our boss, Miriam Praise, that have given me the opportunity to have this interfacing session with you all on the call. As the topic suggests, it says adaptation and mitigation strategies in logistics and distribution. Without further ado, I would like to ask a few questions on the call, and I would like you all to, to make it interactive, whether you're dropping your responses on the chat box or you're muting just to contribute. I would like us to do that. What does mitigation means to us, and what does adaptation means to us, just in plain languages? Hello, everyone on the call. We don't have so much time, so I wouldn't want to waste our time. I think I'm just supposed to present these slides within 10 to 15 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miriam.
Correct, that's right.
All right, thank you. So I'd like you all to make it as interactive as best as possible. Just did I just stop sharing? No. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So it seems no one is bold enough to get on. I'll just go ahead. So introduction.
There's
just
some
like
answers in the chat box.
oh, great. Adaptation, yeah, it means coping, exactly. Mitigation is prevention or minimizing, absolutely. Just like we all know, adaptation, we all as humans, for some way, somehow, we get to adapt to a whole lot of things as we grow daily with everything that we find in every situation that we find ourselves in. And this whole year, 2024, has been nothing of as fall short of nothing of that description, because from all of the things that is happening microeconomic wise within the Nigerian space, we all can see that it's a season for us all to really do what, to adapt to every situation that we get to encounter in our business, in our daily lives, in our career. Just yesterday there's another fall price change, and it's not that it's coming down, but rather it's going up. So we as humans, how do we adapt to all of the changing situations when it comes to climate changes, when it comes to adverse weather effects on our agricultural production, on our logistics and distribution processes? So I would just like to give this brief introduction on, adapting adapting logistics and distribution systems to climate change involves a whole lot of things. And I mean, it's you preparing for and you responding to the impact of the adverse weather effect. If you've been in the news recently, you would have seen what is going on with Hurricane Allen, and there's this recent hurricane that has hit Florida yesterday as well. So, you know, in more developed climes, everybody is having one challenge or the other when it comes to weather effect, apart from economic effect. But all of these things as put together, you know, we as business people and as professionals need to always, you know, put ourselves in those shoes and start having what's it called, scenario planning, and thinking through what will be the best way to manage all of these things whenever, you know, these issues arise. So, and that's why mitigation actually, you know, is focusing on the contribution, just like some of you have said in the chat box, is focusing on, you know, reducing the contribution of these systems on the effect of climate change. And you can see just the infographics on the side of the slide that is saying, you know, foundation for success. What that means is we all need to collaborate to make sure that we even have solid foundation to know that, okay, these are the things we want to do to be able to manage all of the effects that adverse weathering changes is going to have on our logistics operation, on the distribution of our products, or even the production of our products in the first place. Then we can see safety and health concerns within the community. I just gave an example around Hurricane Ellen that is, you know, fighting people in the US, in some part of the US, you know. So safety for lives and property. Just here in Nigeria, I think it was somewhere in Maduguri, some few weeks back, we had the flooding issue where people lost lots of people with loss of lives and property with the breaking of the dam that affected almost all the local governments within the Maiduguri borders. And we can see resilient species and the ecosystem. We need to start thinking, so what are the things that we need to do to make sure that all of our food, I will call them food chain stakeholders, which are, I mean, the animals, the trees, the plants, and the aquatic species. I'll call them, you know, food because they belong to the food chain. I'll call them, you know, stakeholders as well. So how do we, you know, ensure that we're having crossbreeded animals that are of more resistant nature, that can, you know, weather or can resist that can resist the adverse weather effect and can continue the procreation within the space, irrespective of whatever is happening. Then we're going to see, you know, climate-ready economy and infrastructure. As business people, we need to get involved in politics. We need to get involved in policy making, just to make sure that when that the government is making plans on the kind of buildings, on the kind of roads, or the kind of whatever social infrastructure that we need to build, you know, we are putting this climate changes into consideration, not just that. I mean, it should be a thing of the past that we are having road construction in Nigeria, and the roads that we are constructing do not have drainages attached to them. Then when it rains, when there is flood, what's going to happen? That you find out that you have lots of floods on the road, and that will cause traffic. People would, you know, try to drive in through the water, and people would have their cars damaged, because most of the vehicles that we have these days are vehicles that are fully electrical, and, you know, all of the parts are never friends with water. So having said that, I would just like to move on. I mean, so adaptation strategies, I think there's some corrections that I need to make to this slide because of the print. However, I'll make that and I'll share with you guys. So adaptation strategies, I mean, just to list them, you can see that, you know, we need to have resilient infrastructure. Like I just said, when we are building roads, we need to know that we're building roads with best practice within the industry. There should be a thing of the past that we build roads and we don't have drainages attached to them. And, you know, we need to invest in climate resilient infrastructure. What kind of bridges, what kind of buildings are we building? whatever building that we are erecting, we should make sure that they're, they have some sustainable practice and standards with them. Having eco-friendly buildings is one of those things. Then moving on to point number 2, which is supply chain diversification. And what that means is that we all don't have to, when we're thinking through our supply chain, for those that might be manufacturing one product or the other on the call, you really need to be thinking through this because, COVID has really taught us a whole lot of things, and it brought out the what's it called now, immeasurable effects of what supply chain and logistics professional, what they do and what they mean to the world. I mean, for every one of you, the clothes that you're wearing, the phones that you use for your calls, every other thing that you use on a daily basis, at the background, you just know that this thing, you get it when you need to get it, but you don't know how it gets there. So that is the immeasurable work supply chain professionals and logistic professionals are doing, because they are the one that work behind the scene to make sure that cargoes or items move from point A to point B at the right time, at the right in the right condition, at the right space, at the right price for you to be able to afford and use it. So we need to start thinking about supply chain diversification. Now, while I made mention of COVID, was because, most of us, when we think through our supply channels, we are always just comfortable with just dealing with maybe 1 or 2 suppliers. So, but what happens if those suppliers are not able to meet our demand at any point in time? Then that affects our production, and we're not able to produce the way we should, and in turn, we also are not able to serve our customers better. So we need to start thinking through all of those things, supply chain diversification, and the risk assessment and management is very key and very critical for us as well. At every point in time, when you're thinking through your logistics and distribution, for example, if you want to move a cargo from Lagos to Abuja, would you rather go to a company that that these people are licensed and they're professional to help you move your cargo, and they have goods in transit and fidelity insurance for every item they move for their customer? Or you will go to the open market, just go to a truck garage and just look for any driver that is available that is willing to go to Abuja to give your items to? Which would you prefer? Because a company that is structured, that have all of those cover, will charge you for one, will give you a premium price. However, the driver that you just walk up to at the normal open market at the garage will just, once you negotiate with the guy, will give you something, okay, and you entrust your cargo to the person. If the guy is going to deliver or not, you do not know, because that's a high risk. If he has an accident on the way with your cargo, what's the plot? How does that affect you? How does that affect the driver? How does that affect all other road users? How does that affect the community of where the incident happened in the first place? So when we're thinking through our logistics and distribution, let us always think through the risk involved, the risk assessment. We need to thoroughly conduct risk assessment to identify the climate-related issues or just operational-related vulnerabilities within our supply chain and logistics and distribution channels per time. So, technology integration. Today, technology is everywhere. Technology is a tool. In fact, technology is a flywheel that makes that makes operational efficiency easy. And it makes you turn out, it gives you best productivity ratio within your operations at any point in time. However, if you are not able to use this technology, you'll find yourself still lagging behind. I mean, how would you perceive today if somebody told you in this 21st century, in this day 2024, that person doesn't have an email, the person doesn't have a social media account, doesn't have it's not just you, it doesn't have any, it's not tech driven. How would you feel? I mean, the person definitely, the world is probably living in another world. He's just here representing his body, but his soul is not here. So technology integration, we need to start thinking through that within our operations. I mean, and it doesn't have to be an advanced technology, so to speak. I mean, just simple technology that can help us with some sort of our operations, or just a simple Excel would help you document your sales sales numbers month on month, week on week, how much sales do you make today, what's the profit, what's the revenue, plus and minus, and that's the technology that you're using. And if you know how to use Google Form, you could always just, make sure that people make inquiries or place their orders via your Google Form, and at the back end, you have access to all of the things that customer A or customer B has requested for your product. So that's simple technology, and there are lots of open source technology that we can use depending on the nature of our operations, depending on the nature of our businesses, that we can always adopt and integrate into our operations per time. Then collaboration and partnerships. I mean, we can't overemphasize this within this space today. I mean, it's collaboration and partnership that brought me to be speaking with you here today. It was myself and a top member of the AFC Bridge team met at a conference. We were both panel speakers, and we need somebody in supply chain to always help us, facilitate sessions like this. I'm like, okay, I can always do that in my free time. I can have it plugged in my calendar, and here we are. I mean, this will be like the fourth or the third session that I'm facilitating as of now. So, and that is what collaboration and partnership can do for you. So you need to always think through how you can partner with the next man, the next person to you, and don't always think about competition, that you're competing with people. Always think about where is the collaborating points or partnership points that both of us can, deliver on something and still be of value to each other's businesses or each other's lives or careers. So we need to always think through this. And inventory optimization, I mean, like I said earlier, around technology integration, there's no way you want to optimize your inventory without you having some sort of technology adoption to it. Because as you're selling or as you're buying, you are selling. So you need to keep track of what you bought, what you sold, what is left. Then you now need to, adopt the strategy of your minimum order quantity. Immediately my inventory is getting to a particular number. That means I need to trigger to order more inventory to be supplied to production. Then mitigation strategies in itself. I mean, green transport mode. Every one of us, we can see the Nigerian transport energy transition plan, and this cuts across a whole lot of things within the Nigerian ecosystem right now. I mean, from the presidency, you can see the drive for the Ministry of Transportation to make sure that we transit from fuel or fossil fuel powered vehicles to gas powered vehicles or electric vehicles. And you can see all of the push that the federal government is making with the PCING conversion centers that they are opening up all around the geopolitical zones in Nigeria, so that for every commercial vehicle owners, either truck drivers or bus driver, you can take your vehicle to these places and they will convert your vehicle from fossil fuel, from PMS or diesel, to a gas-powered vehicle at no cost of yours. So this is some of the things that we need to start thinking through. That is a green mode of transport, because once you move from fossil fuel power to gas, then you're having you're having low carbon emission within your ecosystem. And energy efficiency is another thing that we need to think through. So energy efficiency, in the sense that within our space, when in our houses, what kind of energy lighting system are we using? Are we still using the old fluorescent bulb that consumes high volume of power or energy or electricity, or we've moved from that to have energy they call them, what do they call those new light bulbs now? I mean, low powered bulbs or you're using solar to power your homes at any point in time. These are some of all of these things. And if you're conversant with the new set of air conditioning designs right now, you see that you see a tag on almost all the air conditioning. You see low inverter system. That's to let you know that it's a low power. It's a low power required AC, unlike the older ones that we have. That if the reading of your kilowatt is not getting to like 280 or 320, the AC cannot work. So we need to start thinking through things like this and optimize routes, routing and planning for most of our logistics distribution, you need to always think through this whenever you are dispatching your vehicles for distribution. You need to, you need to know your routes. There has to be route hazard assessment that your team have done to know that, okay, instead of this driver going through route A from Lagos to Abuja, why not pass through route B? Because route A, at some point, by the time you get to Kogi or Kenne Road, those roads are terribly bad, and it's a rainy season. It will be very, difficult for the trucks or your vehicles to have ease of ride passing through that route. Why not go through another alternative route? So that's what routing and planning will always do for you, and you always think through your carbon emission as well. Then reverse logistics. This is something that a whole lot of organizations need to always tap into. If I'm moving a cargo from Lagos to Abuja, I would always charge my return leg for the cost of transportation, because that's one reason why cost of transportation for cargo movement is actually high. But we have collaboration where if I move an item with my truck from Lagos to Abuja, by the time I get to Abuja, there's a logistics hub that I can go to. Once the truck gets in there, and if the truck is sure of getting another cargo back to the south or to the west, either to Lagos or Ibadan or Ondo, which will help me reduce my cost of fueling at every point in time, then cost of transportation for the customers will definitely come down, because I know that I'm not going to blow an empty mile run from Abuja back to Lagos or back to the west. Then packaging innovation. If you're conversant with eateries these days, you see that a whole lot of eateries are now moving towards the eco-friendly packaging. We have paper packs now for plates. We have paper cups for drinks. And I think even by January 2025, I know Lagos State government has banned the styrofoam packs usage in Lagos. And I was in a conversation a couple of weeks back, and I know that there's a high-level conversation happening at the federal level to ban PET bottles, these plastic bottles that we all have today that has caused a whole lot of issues to our environment globally and even locally. There's a high-level conversation that by January 2025, the government is actually going to move the motion until they're going to ban the usage of plastic bottles. And that means we all are going to return back to the old ways of having drinks in our glass bottles. And if you travel to the West, that's what they've done. They've been doing this for over, so just before COVID, most countries in the West have moved away from, plastic bottles back to glass bottles. And that's because it's more eco-friendly. You can reuse it easily. And what's it called? The issue of biodegradable things are not coming up, because when the bottle breaks, all you need to do is to just, get those glasses back into the recycling plant, and they recrush and remold bottles for you. Then carbon offsetting. We can't say we can't underestimate the power of our carbon offsetting with the energy transition plan that we already have within the economy. Then in conclusion, I would just like to leave us with this. Combining adaptation and mitigation strategies ensure that a comprehensive approach to climate resilience and logistics and distribution is achieved. By enhancing resilience against climate impact, the simultaneous reduction of our carbon footprint, businesses can build robust and sustainable supply chains capable of thriving in a changing climate. Effective adaptation and mitigation strategies not only mitigate the risk, but also open up new opportunities for innovation, for cost savings, and enhanced reputation in an increasingly climate-conscious marketplace. So thank you for your time, and I would like to welcome questions. I think I have Mr. Jubril with his questions.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of the insights, and thank you. We appreciate this. So quickly, Jubril, I'll ask you to unmute and quickly ask your question. Jubril, if you are there, I'm asking you to unmute and go ahead. I'm seeing your video on, but you have not unmuted.
So Jibril is playing football.
Okay. You're not able, okay, I've asked you to unmute, you should be able to do that now. Please click on unmute. I have asked you to unmute. I have. I've done that again. I've asked you to unmute again.
Can you unmute him from your side? Is it possible?
Yes, so I've done that, but you have to click on the unmute to go ahead and speak, yes.
I mean, while he's having issues with his own, if there are any other person in the call,
Okay.
question number 2.
Okay, let's see in the comment section if we have questions there. And Jibril, if you're not able to unmute, you can probably drop your question in the comment section and we'll read it out. Please, if you have question, raise your hand so that I can ask you to speak. I'm trying to check the comment section. Oh, there are a lot of contributions here. I'm not seeing a question yet. Okay. Oh, I think he's having issues with his network and where we're not able to have him ask his question. I hope you'll be able to probably get back as, oh, okay, someone else is here. Umwakangi, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, are you getting me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, my question is different from what the Adeyemi. Yes, my question is different from what Adeyemi was. I remember writing. I've been in here for since the time you launched the program, but I have not managed to go through the module. So please kindly share the link on how you go for the module, because I have not done this that module. I've gone a different one, but I came to realize that this is not the module that is being issued. So I need to go to that module to be highlighted. Yeah, the link. Please send the link. Maybe into WhatsApp we will be able to be updated.
Okay, so we have been, for every week that we send the link to the LIS to you, we send it alongside the portal link. But then if you are in the WhatsApp group, we have also sent it to the WhatsApp group several times. So I'll try as much as possible as to send it again, both to the WhatsApp group and to your email again. So please, this time is to ask Mr. Adeyemi Adetola questions, not for the models yet. So we'll have the time to do that. But quickly, if we don't have questions, then maybe we should just take our round of photos with him and we can come back to the module and the portal discussions. Right. So please, let's go ahead and on our videos like we always do to take a photo with our facilitator. All right, thank you everyone that are already putting on their videos. I see people, okay. There are a lot of people that already put on their videos. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for putting on your videos. And I'm sure my team members are taking the snapshots. Yes. Team members, thank you. I know you're already doing that. Thank you so much. Oh, Alabi, if the question is for our facilitator, please go ahead. Well, if it is not, don't. All right, thank you. Please go ahead. I'm asking you to mute. Yes, you are unmuted, but we cannot hear you. If you are speaking, we cannot hear you. Oh, you are muted again. You unmuted and now you are muted again.
Good evening.
Okay, yes, please, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So I want our lecturer to give more explanation on the fast logistic. So I need more explanation on that. My second question is that what is the best packaging material for egg? So is it paper crate or plastic crate? Thanks.
Adeyemi, did you?
Okay, so in terms of giving clarity on reverse logistics. So reverse logistics is a method in logistics that ensures that you reduce empty mile run. And what I mean by empty mile is your trucks or your vehicles moving empty at any point in time. So there's a terminology we call FTL in logistics that means full truckload, and there's what we call LCL or LTL, which is less than a container load or less truckload. So at every point in time, when you have a vehicle on the road, it is expected that for that vehicle to be optimized in terms of space and capacity, it is fully loaded. If you are not loading your vehicle fully, then you are not optimizing that vehicle per time. So reverse logistics is to ensure that at any point in time, when your vehicle moves from point A to point B, by the time it's returning from point B to point A, it is not running empty. It is moving another set of cargo, that you can charge for on that second leg from point B to point A. That's what reverse logistics is. Then your second question around best packaging for eggs. So it depends. I mean, if you are going to be having, if the nature of the distribution of your eggs or your supply is going to be on a long distance trip, I will suggest that you have it packed in plastic. But if it is a shorter distance, because we know eggs are fragile, if it's a shorter distance, then you can use paper. I think that would be my suggestion to you.
All right, thank you so much. So we have another hand, Oyeni Fumilola. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for very, very insightful. Yes, my question is, I am into livestock production and farming, precisely broiler production and catfish production, processing and packaging. So my question is, when I package catfish now to be sent outside Nigeria, diaspora, most time what I used to have is that some of the fish will have be crumbled, some of it. So, but that's when we use purely oven gas to process it. We'll have a lot of crumble before arriving the destination. But when we now try to use a little bit of what's it called? Charcoal, and we now use gas to finish it up, it's still intact. So I want to ask that, do you think is a good practice using charcoal to process our fish? But why we do that is because it makes it stay firm anytime, any day, even when traveling with it like that. So I want to ask that, is it a best practice to use charcoal to smoke our catfish for the purpose of it not being crumbled? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Oyeni. Well, in terms of best practices, the world is trying to move away from what's it called now? Any form of combustion that will increase carbon emission or CO2 gas emission. So in terms of best practice, it might not be the best way. However, that is what is giving you the best value for your business as of now, because you said if you smoke with gas oven, there's some way somehow that the product gets to the destination and it's really not intact. But then I really don't want to believe it's a case of a problem of the mode of smoking. I think the problem would be mode of packaging and how your logistics service provider helping you, move your items. So, I mean, this are not, what's it called? These are fragile items. Fish is not something that, a smoked fish is not something that when you're loading it among every other item, is something that you can put heavy items on. So I want to believe that's where the problem is coming from. Your logistics service provider that's helping you move your stuff from Nigeria to diaspora one way or the other. They pack all these things together without, the proper labeling of, okay, this is fragile, this is not fragile, and all of that. And that's the reason why your fish is arriving at the destination broken. So it's not really about the mode of smoking or the mode of processing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we have one more hand raised. Okay, so Kabiru Mohammed, go ahead. Kabiru Mohammed, I've asked you to.
Okay, thank you so much. Ma'am, my question is about the pastoralists. The in Nigeria, most of our available forests and the farms, we put them into use for agricultural activities. So what will be the mitigation or adaptation strategy for the pastoralists that doesn't have more space now to move their cows and cattle?
I'm really struggling to understand your question, Mr. Captain. And there's some sort of background noise from you. Is it possible?
Yeah, your background is quite noisy. So we're struggling to hear you.
So, yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I think it's better now.
Yeah, I say I'm talking about the pastoralists. Those are rearing cattle, that are moving cattle from one place to another upon grazing. So because of the food insecurity we are facing in Nigeria, most of our available forests and the farms we reserve for the pastoralists, we put them into agricultural activities now. So they don't have more space to move their cows and graze. So I don't know if there's any adaptation strategies that these pastoralists may adopt to take care of their cattle.
Okay, thank you for that. There are a lot of things to be considered for pastoral farming, and if you go to a more developed clime, you'll find out that open grazing is never something that is allowed, because one, we all need to preserve the environment the best way, and you need to make sure that even some people that are that have phobias for animals, nobody's threatening because of the movement of animals from one place to the other, and there are other things that come with it. So that's why you always have ranches, specified ranches for pastoral farming. And I know that even in Nigeria, there is the pastoral landmarks, pathways. That was a mark for people, pastoral farmers. If you're going to move your animals from point A to point B, there are pathways that you're expected to apply through. However, that knowledge, I'm not so sure is properly and adequately disseminated to pastoral farmers like yours. So, and I think that's one thing that you might need to, do more research on, probably get onto the Ministry of Agriculture within your state to find out more details on this. So, and the mitigation strategy will be, I mean, if you are buoyant enough to seek for, if your organization is what's it called now, is structured, if you have a proper registration as a farming company, you can approach funding organizations like Development Bank of Nigeria, Bank of Industries that are, particularly interested in supporting agricultural farmers irrespective of the divide for, financing, and you can get finances to have your own dedicated ranch where it's big enough for your guys, for your animals to always move around. But then the ranch, the essence of the ranch is for them to, graze within a secluded place, and you have them being fed. If you have to, what's it called now? If you have to grow the grasses, they have to, or the feeds they have to feed on within the space, all well and good. If you have to go get them and bring them to them at the ranch, all well and good. Everything is just so that one, the lives and the property of your animals are actually safe, so nobody can attack you, and nobody's accusing you of your animals, grazing into people's farmland and all of that, or your animals attacking people on the way, or causing some sort of accident because you're trying to cross a highway when some vehicles are on top speed and all of that. So I think that would be my advice to you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we've had so much for this session today, and thank you so much, Adeyemi. Thanks for all of the insights that you've given. Thank you for your time and then your audience. So, dear participants, let's appreciate Adeyemi in the comment section and say thank you to him for availing himself for us again today. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone in this call. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your the insights you have given to us and your time as well. Thank you so much, and do have a great day, sir.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, thank you. Bye. So for everyone, there are a few announcements that we need to make as to the portal. But before then, let me quickly share my screen and let's announce the top scholars for the week. So for this week, we have our top scholars. As our tradition is, we always celebrate our top scholars. So for the top scholars for week 3, we have these wonderful faces everywhere. We have Caleb Amadu from Nigeria. We have Agnes Tamanda Firi from Malawi. We have Shedrack Kapi Victor from Nigeria. We have Emi Ivy Banda from Malawi. We have Musa Abdulmumin Shuaib from Nigeria. We have Ongi Silas Malton from Nigeria. We have Kari Mira Vincent from Rwanda. We have Owuri Cyril from Nigeria. We have Winnie Kimere from Kenya. We have Lerin Barnabas Lobu from Nigeria. We have Regina Makogomo Uma from South Africa. And we have Bangura Fode from Sierra Leone. Let's appreciate these people in the comment section and celebrate them. Let's tell them congratulations for coming as top scholars for week 3. We hope to have one of you again, or so many other people on this call as top scholars for week 4. So please, if you have not completed module 4, log into the portal and complete module 4 so that you can also have a chance to be a top scholar for the week. So quickly, I'll stop sharing, and I would really love to play. I promised I was going to play the impact video for us, for some of our participants that have come through or passed through the Brace program. I would have really loved to play the impact stories for us, but then our time is fast spent. I promise to play it next week, so that we will not keep ourselves too much on this course. So for everyone that came top scholars for week 3, congratulations for to all of you. And please, if you have not posted it on your social media pages, please go ahead, post it, tag us. If you see it on this African Food Change Maker social media page, you can also reshare or repost for your audience or your network to see that you were a top scholar for the BRACE program 2024. So a very few announcements quickly before we go. You can now go ahead and download your certificate if you are done with the modules. So if you have completed from module 1 to 6 and you have done your post-diagnostic please go to the assessments page and click on the certificate download, and it will automatically be downloaded to your device. So please, for everyone that have completed the modules, go ahead and do that so that you can have your certificate. And if you have not started yet or you have not completed the modules, this is the time to do it so that you can get your certificate downloaded. So next week, we are bringing to you opportunities in climate smart agriculture. That's the topic for week 5, and then we're going to have some very important people coming again to talk to us about that. So please, let's go ahead and learn or take the module 5 learning so that we have opportunity to interact with the speaker and also have questions to ask our speakers. And next week, which is 18th, right? 18th of October is when we'll have our week 5 live interactive session. I hope to see you all again next week. And again, if you have questions, you have inquiry, or you have challenge with downloading your certificate in the portal, please go ahead and send us an email at brace@afchub.org or chat with any of the admins in the WhatsApp group. We'll be very glad to help you with any challenge you're facing. So I want to say goodbye, but if you have a question as to what I've asked, you can raise your hand or just drop it in the comment section. I have just 2 more minutes to address that, and then we'll call it a day. So please, does anybody have a question? You can quickly raise your hand and I'll call you. In the next 2 minutes, we should be out of this call. Okay, I'm trying to check the comment section. Oh, so many answers. Wow. Okay, Mr. Ndemeke, please. What's your question? I'm asking you to unmute. I've asked you to unmute. You have not unmuted.
Okay, thank you, sister. My name is Obedi Ndemeke from Tanzania. I just want to know what the issue of certificate. I just see some people, they are top scored, but I've tried to log in order to participate in assessment. I have never been successful. So what can I do so that I can participate in that?
So you have to log into the portal and then take, do the pre-diagnostic. When you finish with the pre-diagnostic, you enter module 1, then take, open the videos for module 1 and then listen to them and then answer the questions in the assessment session. Once you answer that question, the next module will be open to you, and then you do the same thing that you did for module 1. Then you do it that way till module 6. After module 6, you also have a post-diagnostic questions that will pop up. Once you finish that, you'll be able to download your certificate. But if you still have more questions, please chat any of us in the WhatsApp group, and we'll be very glad to help you navigate the portal. Thank you. So Alabi, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Alabi, you're not muted, but we cannot hear you. If you are speaking, Alabi, we cannot hear you. I have 1 more minute. Okay, so I want to guess that Alabi may not be on the call, is having issues with his network. Please, if you are having issues with your network and you really need to talk to us about this, please send us a message in the WhatsApp group and we'll answer it, or even send an email to us at brace@afchub.org. That is the same email we have been using to send all of the information to you. You can send us an email via that same email address, and we'll be very glad to answer you. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, and then do have a very wonderful week. Thanks for participating in today's live interactive session. We appreciate all of you. Thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Bye, madam.